Good morning, this is Vicky.
And this is Jo.
And we're the Two Natural Ladies.
And we talk about the good news we all need and ways of getting the most out of life.
We help people with practical, uplifting ways we can all make a difference.
And we're striving for better, not perfect.
And we love a good laugh. Please enjoy the show. So, our theme today is all about the environment and living a healthy, happy life.
Yes. Now what? Oh, this time last year.
I know.
What were we doing, Jo?
Memories.
Oh, there's a song.
The corner of our minds. I think that's the right way. Yes. So where were we a year ago, Vicky?
Well, this exact time, we were in the UK.
We were.
Yes. And we were staying with friends of my family.
Yes.
Friends of my family, family of my family,
yes.
my stepmum's sister and her husband, to be precise.
Yes.
And we felt like royalty, didn't we?
Oh, it was the most amazing thing because for a start, I didn't want to go to the UK.
No.
I wanted to go to France, Italy and Greece. They were the places I really wanted to go. And then you said, well, I've got family in the UK. And I'm like, oh, all right, then we'll go for a couple of days. Well, we have to. Of course, I fell in love with the place, but the moment we arrived, we got picked up, and of course, I had heard Heathrow Airport is horrendous, and I kept saying to Vicky, it's going to take us ages. You know, my brother, who's been there a number of times, he said, oh gosh, you could be standing up for hours and hours. We literally walked through.
I was like, blink and you miss it. What did we miss here? What's happened?
And there was the gorgeous Richard there waiting for us and took us to Ascot, which of course was where the famous racing happens. So how exciting was that? And then we met Nikki and had a cup of tea. And then we went back to where they live normally, which is Clapham, which is only how far from London is it?
Wasn't that far. Oh, you mean Clapham? Oh, it's very inner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like couple of Ks.
Yeah, I was going to say 5 Ks, yeah.
In between, he dropped us off at Windsor Castle.
Of course.
Yes.
Gosh, yeah, forgot about that.
He just dropped us off. He said,
Yes.
go to town.
Yeah.
Go to the castle.
Yeah.
Because, we were just, well, I don't know about you, Jo, but I was just like, right, let's get started.
Oh, yes, yes. I have to say I really thank you for being like that because I might have been a little bit slower because I tend to go for longer periods of time.
Yes.
And therefore get into the groove of things. But I'm so pleased that you were like, we're going because we did so much in 2 weeks.
Yes, it was amazing. And in fact, so I emailed Nikki and Richard,
yes,
our hosts,
yes,
and said, hey, we're going to be reminiscing. And
so do you think they're listening?
Oh, they could be.
Oh, hello, Richard. Hello, Nikki.
If you're
not, we'll send you the
recording
of
it. Yes. And so it was lovely. They came back because I said to them, they took us to their church when we were there.
Yes.
And there was a lot of history and a lot of stories in that church. And both Jo and I thought we'd taken photos, but we couldn't find them. So Richard, the font of much knowledge, has emailed us back. So I'll just read it out. So, dear Vicky, thank you for your email. Good to hear from you. Holy Trinity Church, Clapham, was built in 1776.
Wow.
And required a special act of Parliament to be passed as it is built on common land. It was made famous as it was the church used by the Clapham sect. Activists and social reformers who were in the vanguard of social reform, they persuaded William Wilberforce to join them in seeking to have slavery abolished in the British Empire.
That's right, I remember.
I think it took them many years to get the act abolished act abolishing the trading in slaves passed in 1833. Wilberforce died in that year and is remembered with a plaque on the church, and he is seen in the stained glass window. Please see photos.
What I just wanted to say, and what was amazing also on the outside of the building was the holes in the building from the bombing.
Yes.
I mean, thank heavens it didn't get destroyed.
I know. Well, and then the whole area. Like, Richard took us to places, and
Yes.
there were very distinctly different buildings, but randomly in each street, and they were the bombing sites.
And that was so amazing because what it showed is that the bomb landed and then slid and just hit all these houses in different streets.
In different streets,
There was a lot of stuff, wasn't there, for us about
Yes.
the history and about the war, because
Yes.
I know the war affected us in Australia, but nothing like it affected
No,
England.
and it's very present there
Yes.
every day with all sorts of monuments and physical damage still there. So he goes on to say the Clapham sect went on to buy a piece of Africa to free the slaves, estimated at some 800,000. And this country is known as Sierra Leone.
Wow.
Yes. A clue to its past is in its name of its capital, Freetown. The Clapham sect also became involved in setting up the Bible Society, as it was felt that one could not just free the slaves to return to the tribal ways, but one had to bring Jesus into their lives. There were other things, but that is for another day. Oh, we'll be back in touch, Richard.
Yes.
On that, one thing that might interest your listeners is that Captain Cook's wife, Eliz, left a bequest to the church, as after Captain Cook's death, his widow, Eliz, lived close by and worshipped in the church. I will sign off now and hand over to Nikki. So Nikki said hello and just catching us up on a couple of her their news. But they've moved out of their house. We knew they were about to renovate, so they've now moved out of their house. And she's been clearing, and she's been saying, what the things she's found at the back of her cupboard. And then she said, "Now there's a topic for your show. What have you discovered during a lockdown clear out?" There isn't. That's a definite topic.
Yes. Yes, we'll have to have that for yes.
And they went to church. They went to their Holy Trinity Church today, which was on the weekend, for the first time in 6 months.
Oh, wow, of course. Amazing, isn't it? Just what happened in the past, what's happening now.
Yes.
I mean, because in another 50 years, when we're still talking on the radio, we'll be talking about this event. Yes, this amazing event. But back to London.
Back to London.
Yes, I always enjoyed there's a show called Escape to the Country, which I think they might have an Australian version, but I watched the UK version, and I just love looking at all the countryside. And then there's another one, location, and that's all over the place, and including in suburbs of London. And it's just, the other day I thought they were actually in Clapham because it looked very like Clapham Common, and it wasn't. But yes, that was very exciting. But, what did we discover? Well, Vicky discovered beer, which was very exciting. And, that seemed to be no, it wasn't really. She was looking for a particular type of beer. Did you ever actually get the beer that you wanted?
I don't know. That's the thing. We're so multicultural these days. They were kind of looking at me strangely because I wanted a traditional English beer, and I didn't know whether that was carbonated or non-carbonated. I just wanted whatever it is you serve people that's not refrigerated, like warm, room temperature beer. So that wasn't as easy as I thought.
No.
But you know what was funny? Because you know how double-decker buses are, really like a novelty here.
Yes.
When I got there, I knew they were from England, but all of a sudden I'm like, oh my gosh, they're everywhere. Like they're really like just our buses here.
Yeah.
And that was fun, wasn't it? Getting on.
It was.
Yeah.
Sitting in the front at the top. And
putting your legs up because your feet were swollen.
Yes.
Oh, the memories.
Oh dear. And discovering the local bakery near where we were staying with Richard and Nikki, and we discovered that on the first morning.
Yes.
And we had brekkie there, and then we brought some special treats back for Richard and Nikki, and that became our
thing.
Yep, our brekkie place.
Yeah.
Oh, and of course London Bridge. You can't go past the discussion of London Bridge, because once we'd spoken to so many people from everywhere.
Oh, and the song.
Of course, yes. We expected London Bridge to be what is actually the Tower Bridge.
Yes.
And we're literally standing on London Bridge going, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, but it's not over there. They told us here. We were so confused. And then when we walked down, we saw this plaque that said London Bridge, and we go, oh my gosh, this is London Bridge. What is the whole discussion about this bridge?
How unremarkable it was.
That should be London Bridge.
Yeah, we could see the remarkable bridge.
Yes.
Which was
the Tower Bridge.
Yes.
Yes.
And then walking along from London Bridge, and we're coming up, and there's some people hanging out in a park, and there was this kind of fortress-looking thing, and I'm like, oh, look at that, Jo.
That's just a fortress.
Oh, maybe we should go in. And then I saw, oh, there's a ticket box. Oh, we're lining up for it. Oh, it must be a special fortress.
Lucky you weren't doing anything wrong, or you might have found out more about
it. Yes. So it was the Tower of London. My goodness. Just in front of the Tower of London, and had no idea.
And then we were sitting on the sewerage.
Oh.
Yes, because the moat.
Yes.
We were sitting on what was the moat, but he was talking about, we had this very funny gentleman who took us around, and I can't remember what he was called. There's a certain name for
yes.
them. And
the English people would know.
Yes, they would. Yes, English people, tell us. He was all dressed in red and
it was a funny name for him. I've never heard of the name before.
I had, but
yes.
but I can't remember what it is.
No.
Anyway, yes, and he was telling us that the moat was disgusting, like before they filled it in, and yes, that we were sitting on all sorts of lovely things just to help us feel good,
Yes. So we were. It was we'd done a couple of days, I remember, and then. Oh, that's right. We went to Oxford.
Yes.
And we were sitting in a tea house in Oxford, and then all of a sudden, you decided you wanted to go to Downtown Abbey land. Is that how that worked?
Well, I wanted to go to Downtown Abbey land before we got
there.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden it was like, okay, let's make it happen.
Yes. Now, if we'd been smart, we would have actually stayed in Oxford and gone from there because it was quite close to there, but we went back to Clapham and then got the tickets and went on the bus.
So while we were in Oxford, we booked a tour. But, let's not brush over Oxford because how amazing was that? Another complete surprise to me. Like, just wow. It felt like Harry Potter land.
Well, and Harry Potter was actually, parts of Harry Potter was filmed there, like the Great Hall and a lot of, there's a tree and there's a specific place there that is in a lot of shots in particularly the early Harry Potter movies. So I know, it was so exciting.
And we've got so many photos. We're going to have to post them. All week.
Well, yes.
All week.
All week.
Yes. Fun.
Fun. Yeah, well, I think we've got lots more to say, and we will say lots more. Our wonderful Adrian, who's in Scarborough, so he's right there. Well, not quite in London, quite a distance from London. But firstly, I just wanted to say back to carrots very briefly. Oh. Carrots are predominantly orange because they're a popular variety came from Holland and their national colour is orange. So that's why. Apparently that was popular and became orange. That's anyway.
Right.
Now, beefeaters and their real name is Yeomen of the Guard. And I think that's what they were. They were the Yeomen of the Guard.
I think that's what he called himself. Yes.
So thank you, Adrian.
Thank you.
Yes, good to have the encyclopedia there for us.
The local knowledge. Yes. So Oxford, and we're jumping around a bit here because we've got Buckingham Palace.
Yes.
We did go to Buckingham Palace.
Yes, and you've just got to say they're changing guards at Buckingham Palace. Christopher Robin went down with Alice. Alice is marrying one of the guards. A soldier's life is awfully hard, said Alice. Sorry, that's from AA Milne, who did Winnie the Pooh.
Thank you for reciting that.
That's right.
So,
and Buckingham Palace was great.
Oh, it was great.
Yes.
Yes. So, and the Queen was going to join us for tea, but she was
just slightly busy.
Yes.
She did apologise profusely to us.
That's right.
Oh, the two natural ladies.
Oh, gosh darn, I wish I
Yes.
had time in my diary.
Yes. Yes.
So, yes. So then, okay, so Buckingham, so Oxford Uni, and then, but it was the next day after Oxford that we went to the Cotswolds.
Yes.
Which is Downtown Abbey land.
Yes.
Yes. And
I was so excited.
Yes, you were. You're like a kid in a lolly shop. Yes. And I was like, rolling my eyes going, I suppose I'll enjoy some English. Because, of course, you wanted to see the English countryside.
Yes.
So we fitted all that into that day. And actually, when I got back home and decided I was going to watch Downton Abbey because Jo infected me, actually, I love Downton Abbey, and of course, my husband, love him. I'm sure he loves me too, because I'm sitting there going, "I've been there, I've been there, I've been there."
Yes.
Yeah,
it was a very exciting, and it was a tour with Phil, and Phil was wonderful. He was actually an Australian. Was he an Australian or was he English? But he had family in Australia.
I think he's English.
Okay,
but
he had family in Australia.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And he was wearing the top hat and a sort of, what do they call that? Herringbone suit. I think it's called a herringbone suit.
And it was he was wearing tails. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Oh no.
No, it was just this herringbone.
Right.
Yeah, I'm pretty. And the umbrella.
Mm.
You know, he was very very English the way he looked.
Yes. Do you know, it was quite an interesting time because, we're being very detailed, but we were 5 days and we fitted so much in, and yet there was so much detail. We just soaked it all up.
Yes.
I suppose we weren't distracted with other things in life.
No, and that's the wonderful thing. We could just be in that and
be in the moment.
Exactly. And the other thing I do want to mention, and this was letter writing.
Yes.
Which is what we did. We did promise Adrian that we would talk about letter writing.
Okay.
And I thought it was perfect because when you're overseas, you do tend to write letters or at least postcards.
Yes.
We wrote some postcards.
We did.
And I think they got them about a week or two after we got home.
Yes. Yes, we definitely beat the postcards home.
Yes, but I think it is a dying art,
yes,
letter writing, and yet it is something very special, even more special these days than, say, 10, 15, 20 years ago when anything that comes in the mail really tends to be a bill.
Yes. Yes.
So I just thought I'd put it in there, how nice it is to write letters.
It is.
And we could even write a letter to Richard and Nikki.
Well, we could, and Adrian, I'll just declare, I have been meaning to write to you. Just to.
There you go.
Yes.
So a letter is in the creation stage.
Yes. So now we were on our Cotswolds tour.
Yes.
Just the little things. We met some lovely Americans, didn't we?
In a tea house. Because we decided not to go to Blenheim Castle.
On the tour,
which I'm sure was amazing. But we decided we wanted to just wander in the local village.
Yes.
So we had a lovely wander in the local village.
Did.
And then we got to the tea house. Keep going.
Tea house. Well, okay. So we're not saying where we are yet.
No.
Jo decided to tell the Americans a lovely tale of where the
famous Woodstock musical is. Here we are. We were in Woodstock, and I got the two mixed up. And they were like, "I think that's in America." Because I'm thinking, where are they having them? Where's this huge?
Where did they have
the huge concerts?
Yes.
You know, I mean, Woodstock was huge.
Yes.
And, of course, then I realised I was on the wrong continent. There you go.
I wonder if those Americans remember us.
Those funny women with their hats on and being completely wrong where they are.
Being a bit ditzy.
Yes, that's okay. We're allowed to be.
We are.
Yes. But one of the things we did, which is what we do here, is
pick up rubbish.
Yes, we did.
We've got photos to prove it. Yes. I think you posted one the other day because that was from the Common.
Yes.
Yes, the Clapham Common.
Yes, and it was Sunday morning, so it was after Saturday night, which, of course, happens everywhere where people don't pick up their rubbish.
Yes.
Or don't put it in a bin.
Yes, and the whole, and we were just back to the war thing for a minute because I think we're feeling a little bit of that now, where when a crisis hits, like when a war hits. I mean, it's all sad and we don't want it to happen. And what often comes out of these crisis times is opportunity, and necessity is the mother of invention, I suppose. I'm trying to say that and watching Downtown Abbey, actually, I learnt a bit about that, like what came out of them going through World War One. As horrible as it was, and we would never want to go and do that again. Life changed. Yes, life changed for some. For the better and for the worse, I suppose you could argue. Yeah. That's right. You get to see, and we know as humans that one thing that's certain is change and how we adapt. And human beings, I think, are very adaptable, and we can find ways through these horrific times and terrible times to actually create something even more amazing. Yes, and I think maybe it takes, yes, it's circumstantial, but also it can take a mindset. Yes. To actually, and there's people we know now that are taking on a mindset of, okay, we're in this position, now let's step up. It's an opportunity to step up. And be creative. Find what if your business has disappeared, find other ways that you can be in the world right now that could make a difference. And we've met a few who say they give back. Yes. They've found ways to give back, which is pretty amazing. So we're going back to England. We went to a few international networking meetings. Yes, we did. That was a lot of fun, and we've kept in touch, particularly with one group. Yes. But we're thinking of visiting online through Zoom. Because we can. Yes, that's right. And we, we're meeting. They're actually introducing us to other people. Yes. And we ended up on a Zoom call last week. Oh, that was so much fun. Yes. Cafe connections with, I think the average age would have been about 75, maybe. They were lovely. They were lovely. And Ashley's, she's coming up in a few weeks. We're going to chat to her. But it was, it was just amazing just to be, and she created that cafe connection because a lot of her clients were in the over 70 age group, and she wanted to keep them connected. So she created the Zoom link up. And even as things might open up, they want to keep it going. Oh, I think they will. Yes. I think it was just lovely. Now, it was 10 o'clock their time, but 7 p.m. our time. Yes. So Vicky was drinking wine while they were having cups of tea. Well, one of them mentioned Australian wine. They did, yes. I showed him a bottle. You just had to go there. Oh, dear. Yeah. The other thing I just wanted to mention, talking about picking up rubbish, but also that we found a number of amazing sustainable innovations throughout the time. I mean, even in Clapham, there was the school kids had put plaques up on the poles saying, don't be a litter monster and things like that. So we were looking out for those kind of things as well, and we found them. We did in the UK and in France, but that's for another time. Yes, and we were looking for op shop opportunities. Yes, and we found them. We did. We did indeed. Oh my gosh! I'm just realising we've got so much more to talk about.
You've been listening to the Two Natural Ladies podcast. Visit twonaturalladies.com.au for more information. Thanks for joining us.